Laser sights increase confidence regardless of experience level, whether you're learning the fundamentals or overcoming aging eyes. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Visit crimsontrace.com to find a dealer near you.
Hey y'all, it's Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Oh, look out, we're smoking.
Oh, we are having fun, I guarantee you. I'm Tom Gresham, and we're talking about guns and shooting and gun gear and ammo and pretty much anything else. If it has to do with guns, we'll talk about it. And, of course, politics are always there because you cannot talk about guns without talking about politics. That's just the way it is. We'll get back to that in just a little bit. Right now, I want to bring in a fellow that we don't have him on very often, but it's always a pleasure. When you talk in the world of competitive shooting, this name always pops up. Todd Jarrett has been winning for more than 2 decades, 6-time USPSA Open national champion, IPSC world champion in 1996. It goes on and on, still winning and training people all over the world these days. Todd, welcome again.
Tom, how are you doing, my friend? Good to hear from you again.
I am well. I've been following what you're doing, and I guess you were just over in Germany working with the military and law enforcement over there?
Yeah, I have been a busy boy this year. I have been traveling for about the last 10 or 12 weeks straight on the road here, and just getting off the road and caught a bug and trying to recoup and get ready to head out next week for the NRA World Championship over at the Peacemaker Range up in West Virginia. So I'm kind of gearing up for that. And getting back from Germany, I was over there working with Blackhawk and a Blackhawk product group, and they guys have been sending me just about everywhere to get things done to help out law enforcement, military, NATO, other distributors and dealers that we deal with all the time. But I spent a couple weeks over there with the German infantry school. A lot working with the GSG-9 guys and some of the other high-end military guys, and absolutely had a blast. Great people to work with. Had a good time.
Let me ask you, because some of these guys, like the GSG-9, I mean, some of these units are top-level, Tier 1, really good guys. I mean, they're good shooters. They're good at what they do. But you come in with a world-class, world champion background in competitive shooting. What do you bring to them that you can help them with from the competitive world that they need to know?
Well, the thing is, I tell everybody who has ever take a class from me on law enforcement, military, government side, that I tell everybody I've never been law enforcement, I've never been military. Only thing I've done is shot over 5 million rounds in my 37 years of competing. And so what I bring to the table is high-speed shooting, weapons manipulation at its highest speed that you can get. Mm-hmm. But we can transition that from the competition world and transition into law enforcement, military to pick up their speed and weapons manipulation. It's really what truly was about, really.
Basically, it's being able to put bullets on target faster.
Correct. And it's always been the hardest thing to be able to teach people how to get out of the box that they've been in for many, many years, especially in law enforcement. And I tell my law enforcement guys, go take a competitive class from one of the top world-class competitors, and you will be simply amazed of what happens to your skills that you currently have and how that will be, drag your accuracy and speed up dramatically. And it's all about understanding how to be able to get the job done quicker these days, for sure.
Well, and to that point, Todd, one of the things that you do, I mean, and I know most of you guys, and known you guys for a long time, you spend, if not every waking minute, pretty close to every waking minute, trying to figure out how can I do this better? And it may be, is there a way to shave a few thousandths off with a reload or a draw or a maneuver, or even as esoteric to us, but not to you, is there a way for me to use my eyes differently as I move from target to target, right?
Yes, it is. But, a lot of this is an individual that you have to work with as an instructor. So a good instructor will be able to understand, do I have individuals who having a problem with target acquisition? Is it a manipulation type of thing with the holster? Is it learning how to be able to move correctly to get into position? And so a good instructor will be able to pick up on that. like I'm at the range now. I mean, I'm sitting here. I just finished popping off 600 rounds, and I'm here trying to figure out how to shave off more time on more difficult targets. And so for me, it's like trying to take an individual and find their weaknesses that can create the speed and accuracy they need within a unit or a team that they're working with. So I really want to be able to make that guy the best he can be. You're always going to have strengths. You're always going to have weaknesses. I want to find those weak points and make that guy stronger and faster, more accurate.
Can the average person who is really more interested in self-protection, concealed carry, home defense, is there a value to that man or woman in getting involved in competition shooting?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a shame that we only have a very small amount of competitive shooters that either come from law enforcement, military that shoot with us. And in the civilian world, of course, there's more and more coming into the action shooting sports every single day, whether it be USPSA or IDPA or 3-gun or even precision rifle. If you want to become a better shot and be able to use those skills for self-protection, whether it be home or on the street, it is absolutely amazing when I take somebody off the street who wants to get into competition, get them in it for a year. Their weapons manipulation, their skills to be able to shoot, speed and accuracy is unbelievable how fast an individual can grow in that area.
All right, I know that, and you're obviously a hell of a shooter, been doing it forever. You have great skills, but at the same time, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back. Can you stay with us for a couple of more minutes?
Absolutely. Be glad to.
When we come back, I want to talk to Todd Jarrett about improvements that we have seen over the last, pick a number, 10, 20, 30 years in gear and equipment and calibers and guns and holsters and all the rest of it, and how we can all take advantage of that. We're talking with Todd Jarrett, competitive shooter and instructor, Strike Force Manufacturing. Check it out, Todd Jarrett, TODD JARRETT, ToddJarrett.com. We'll be right back with more gun talk.
Used guns can be a great value, but you have to know who you're buying from. What if you could buy quality used guns with a lifetime warranty from the Internet's largest online reseller? That's what you get at Dewey'sGuns.com. They stand behind every firearm purchase for life. If you have a problem, they'll either fix or replace your gun. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, and more. Check out their inventory today at Dewey'sGuns.com.
Want great deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gundealio app today. With Gundealio, you can search for deals, listen to the Gun Talk podcast, watch gun videos, read gun news, and get notifications right to your phone about deals and special offers. Save money on the products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gundealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
This is Jeff with Black Hills Ammunition. Our Honey Badger line was designed in cooperation with Lehigh Defense. It's a product of my 37 years in law enforcement and 35 years in ammunition manufacturing. This bullet is the future for self-defense. It's what's in my weapon right now. I think that is the ultimate testimonial, when a guy is willing to stake his life on it. For more information, visit the Black Hills Ammunition Facebook page.
Founded with the singular purpose of building fine sporting firearms, Kimber creates a handgun for every person and a rifle for every adventure. While embracing modern manufacturing techniques, every Kimber depends on practiced hands for assembly, fit, and finish. There's no compromise in features, materials, or performance. Synonymous with quality, precision, and excellence, and made in America. Kimber is what all guns should be. Visit KimberAmerica.com. That's KimberAmerica.com.
We're back with you. We're talking with Todd Jarrett, competitive shooter par excellence, instructor, and all-around gun gear geek. Fair enough, Todd?
Yeah, you can say that for sure, Tom, for sure.
All right, 35 plus years ago, something like that, you started competitive shooting. It was pretty much we got to go get a 1911. Now we got to send it to a gunsmith. We got to get it fixed up. We got to do this. We got to do that. Just how much has changed over that period of time in terms of what's available these days right out of the box?
Oh, it is absolutely amazing. I pretty much one of the newcomers of the game back in the early 80s when I came out and started shooting, and a guy named Rob Latham, I'm sure your listeners would know, and Jerry Mishalik. And so we all kind of started. I kind of came in a few years after they did, but it was an innovation that came out of the competitive shooting world and the action shooting world that took guns to a completely new level. Everything from better sights to better barrels to better bullets to better powder, accuracy, better techniques, holsters, pouches, belts, eyewear, hearing protection. We can just go right down the line and just branch off in 40 directions in those areas and if we jump forward 30 years and look at it, I could put my fingerprint on probably 50, 60, 70 items that I have worked on over the years with the companies I work with. Truly amazing.
It really is. And, competitive shooting is the NASCAR of guns, isn't it? It's where products get tested. You find out what works, what doesn't. You tinker, and then it filters down, and now whatever you guys have worked on a year or two or 5 years later, we're able to buy it in the stores.
Absolutely. Take a look at the black gun market. The typical ARs that you used to own back in the 70s and 80s and even the early 90s. They were pretty much box stock, Vietnam era guns.
Right.
And now if you just look at where the 3-gun has started 15 years ago to look where you can buy a gun now with handguards and better triggers and stocks that are better and barrels that are now. That guns were only good for out to 200 yards away. Now we're shooting them out to 600, 700, 800 yards away. It's truly amazing what we have done in that area from the competitive shooting side, for sure.
Another thing that's happened, I'm just thinking about that as you're talking, Todd, is that people won't put up with less than that anymore. They're not satisfied with what we had 15, 20 years ago anymore.
That is right. And the hard thing is for me is I'm working in the gun industry as long as I have now for 28 years. I tell my bosses, you're just like, you got to push, you got to find something else better than the next company, and you got to find the next trick that we can put on the market that makes that product so much more inferior over another company. And so I'm always struggling to work with other gunsmiths who are other competitive guys that we're brainstorming off of different things to be able to go like, hey, why can't we do this? And then we, go out and get them made and go out there and spend the time to make them more accurate, more faster, and more reliable. And it's where we're always constantly trying to strive to do, and the customer wants that for sure.
All right, I got a question for you. You've been shooting professionally. A professional shooter for decades now. It looks to the rest of us like that would be like a lot of fun. And I get that it's a lot of work and all of that, but is it really as much fun as it looks like it is?
Well, I'll tell you what the fun part about my job is, Tom, and as you well know, working in the gun industry, it is the best place to work. We are a huge family. I wouldn't work anywhere else. The hardest part for me is traveling anymore, traveling with guns, going to the airport, flying out literally almost every week, dealing with TSA, dealing with, UPS and FedEx and all these people for shipping ammo, getting in a rental car, getting in the hotel. But once I get there, I'm having a ball. It's just getting to where we need to be at with firearms, and that's the hardest part of my job these days. And I just dread it from time to time. And so you got to know the lingo. You got to know what to say. And if you are going to travel with firearms, as you well know, I'm sure you have plenty of talks about that with your viewers. And it's tough. That's the tough part about it. But once we're there, hey, we have a blast. We just, I love being in the industry and, love seeing you every single time we hit some type of show. You agree?
It's interesting you mentioned the family aspect. And I know people think we're making this stuff up sometimes, but it's like when you're out there shooting and you're competing against and pick somebody, whoever it's Jerry Mitchell or Rob Latham or Max Michel or somebody, and you guys are always trying to beat each other's brains out, but then when it's over, you're hanging out together, you're shooting the breeze, you know each other's families, you know the names of the kids, and the same kind of applies to a certain extent between all the companies. You may be working with Blackhawk or somebody else, but you're perfectly good friends with people who work for other companies.
Correct. I mean, we're trying to beat on, every single quarter when it comes to the market. But no matter what, we all end up kind of cycling back through. I mean, I got friends at this company and that company and that company I've known for, 28, 30 years now.
Right.
And so, we are truly a big family. And, I may rag on this guy about his product and he may rag on mine. But at the end of the day, when it's all over and done with, going like, hey, let's go shoot some prairie dogs or let's go deer hunting or let's go fishing somewhere. You know what? We really, truly are a big family. That's a fact.
One of the things I tell people, I'm trying to tell them about the firearms industry. I said, look, people move around inside the firearms industry, but it's almost unheard of for anybody who's been in it for any length of time to ever leave it. Because, how could you go be in another industry after you've been in this one?
And that a fact. I mean, it's kind of like, if a company does have some downsides going on and they end up laying off some people, typically it don't take long for you to transition. You may transition from from a gun company to, let's say, an apparel company, and you might go on the tackle side, you may go on the ammo side. And these companies, they want you because you have the knowledge and you have the people that you have the contacts. You got the box full of people. You can make that phone call and make those sales. And essentially, I've moved probably 6 different times over the years. And, I got friends. I mean, I got bosses who laid me off who are still great friends. So
exactly.
And I have no hard feelings. Yeah, I understand how business works. So,
all right, help me out here. If you said a guy comes to you and says, Todd, I need a shooting tip or two, and what are you and you watch him shoot at whatever level, what's probably the first 1 or 2 things you're going to be looking for to see how can I help this guy shoot better?
All right. So first, let's just take an individual who is having a hard time shooting a handgun. So handgun has pretty much been my forte over the years. So I enjoy shooting that, and it's the hardest of all the firearms to master.
Right.
And so I tell everybody, the grip, stance, and trigger control is by far the most difficult part there is to try to get somebody to do all of those aspects of that firearm the same way every single time. So my today's tip for your listeners is to go out, and when you grab the gun, you take it out of the holster, you put it in your hand, you put your sights on the target, do exactly the same thing 50 times in a row. And even if you don't shoot but one shot at a time, if you continue to do that on a regular basis and just take those 50 rounds, and I'm going to get good at doing one shot at a time, then work on doing 2 shots and then 3 shots and 4 shots. And the thing about it is, it's like playing golf, like playing tennis, like playing pool. You do the same thing the same way every single time. And that's where I'm looking for consistency. If I draw the gun and I'm a 32nd of an inch out of the holster and I'm trying to knock off 100th of a second on a draw, I know that if I missed it, I'm going to miss that target. So I'm looking for consistency is what I'm looking for my students.
I like it that you said, even if you're not pulling the trigger, you draw, you bring it out, and it may be what you're working on is, and you don't have to be going fast a lot of times to be working on something, although you're going to get there, but you may be working on, I want to make sure I grip the gun the exact same way in the holster. It comes out the same way. My hands meet the same way. It comes out, and sometimes, are you not, you're actually, particularly not for you, but for a lot of us, we're actually working on our focus of when the gun comes into our focus, the focus comes hard onto the front sight. That actually takes practice and training, doesn't it?
Well, it takes a lot of training. So first of all, I listen to my listeners out there is, are you 15 years old, you're 25, or you're 55. So, vision is also going to play a big part in there. So how many times I get a guy on the range and he's 44 years old and he's going like, well, I don't know why I'm missing. Well, here, try these prescription glasses right here that, I can actually see my sights. So that is a real big thing that I want to be able to push to your listeners out there, is that if you don't have a clear front sight, you can't hit the target. Right. So you want to understand that, your vision is something that you need to pay close attention to from the very beginning. So it's something I have learned, that I'm 55 now, and I want to be able to tell my students, depending on where they are in their life, what a sight picture should look like. But if your eyes are dead on you at 55, then you need to be able to have some type of a eyewear that's going to be able to give you that focus you need in order to see the sight in your target.
Get the correction that brings that front sight into sharp focus for you. That's you got to have that. Todd, listen, I've got to scoot. I appreciate I've eat up a lot more of your time than I had planned on it. But, man, once we get going, I can't stop. I really appreciate your time.
Tom, it's always good to hear from you, my friend. And if you need anything else in the future, you and I need to get on the range and do some shooting. It's been a while now.
That's true. You probably need a few tips right now, don't you?
I probably do. Yeah, I probably could. I probably lost a couple on the way. So
yeah, right. Tom, right. I would love it anytime, because, man, I'll tell you, anytime I get to hang out with you, I learn tons, and it happens so fast. I really appreciate it. You go out, do what you're doing. We're going to get together and shoot a little bit.
You got it. Let's catch up soon, Tom. Thank you.
All right, take care. Todd Jarrett, I'm telling you, you just got a graduate course in shooting and gear and everything else from a guy that's been doing it for, as he says, 30-plus years. If you ever get a chance, and here's the thing, people like Todd, they have classes. You can go get instruction from him, from Max Michel, from a lot of these top guys, Rob Latham. You would be amazed at how much you can learn. You go, I'm kind of new at this. Okay, maybe you're not quite ready for that, but maybe you are. Why not? I love the fact he said competitive shooting can help you in your self-defense shooting, and I am a strong believer in that. If you've not done it, consider getting into competition shooting. It'll simply make you a better shot. Simple as that. All right, 866-TALK-GUN is our magic number here. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
A girl can't go wrong with something in basic black, like an AR-15.
Some things never go out of style, like Tom Gresham's Gun Talk.
All right, back with you, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm looking at this notice, the Civilian Marksmanship Program, the CMP. They have opened a 1-month-long period. It's open right now, where you can place an order to get a military surplus 1911 pistol. The U.S. government made available a whole bunch of 1911s that they had that they're not using, and through the CMP, you can purchase one of those. So, of course, the whole deal is you got to go to CMP.org. I'll verify that in just a second here. They're anticipating a large demand. They're going to use a random computer drawing on October the 15th to determine who can purchase them. They have 8,000 1911s that are being made available to the public. They did some, in 2016, they did a similar thing, selling some M1A carbines. Now, here's the deal. If you're going to order a CMP 1911, you got to fill out this packet of information. It includes proof that you're an adult, U.S. citizen, legal own a firearm. You must also be a member, now listen up, I'm going to help you out on this one. You must also be a member of a CMP-affiliated organization. And if you're under 60, show proof of a marksmanship-related activity. That proof can be copies of a concealed carry permit, as well as military service records, or participating in shooting competition. So here's the thing. If you want to do this and you need to belong to a CMP-affiliated organization, if you don't have one locally that you're aware of, here's one that you can join, and it's $15 a year. Okay, it's the Louisiana Shooting Association. Just go to louisianashooting.com. louisianashooting.com, and for $15 a year, you can join and you will be a member of a CMP affiliated. Oh, yeah, the prices. Let's see. These 1911s come in 3 different grades, rack, field, and service. A rack 1911 costs $850, while field grade and service grade is $950 and $1,050 respectively. So just so you're aware of that. All right, let's go to the phones. Line 3, Bill's with us out of Coquille, Oregon. Hello, Bill. You're on Gun Talk.
Howdy, Tom. Just want to let you know we're using those rifles every day as tools on our sheep ranch. And, couldn't make it through the day without them. We've got coyotes, try to hit us in the morning and the evening. And on the back trails, we've got bears and cougars. And we just think of the firearms really, and their ARs predominantly, as tools. We use the AR 9mm when we're near the donkeys, which are our protection, are kind of our livestock guardians.
Right.
And we use the regular 223s when we're up on the ridges doing the distance shooting.
So, and what we're talking about, for those who just tuned in, they're wondering, what are we talking about? Dianne Feinstein was giving Judge Kavanaugh a hard time saying that, in her terms, assault weapons, semi-automatic rifles are simply not in common use. They are not used. There may be a lot of people who own them, but people don't actually use semi-automatic rifles. And that's why I was asking for examples. And yours is a perfect one. For you, it's a tool.
Right, it's a tool, and it's sitting in every truck, every car we have. There's another one, and we've probably got 3 or 4 of them just sitting on the ranch.
What do you have? Are you using Mini 14s, ARs, what?
ARs predominantly. Okay. Rock River. We've got another Colt. I've had one for 30 years. I just picked up a new one the other day. So when the need dictates, we go ahead and get another rifle, and we've had some long range stuff, so we had to go ahead and pick up a different rifle lately.
So, okay, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, people use semi-automatic rifles all the time. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate the call. By the way, on that CMP story, I wanted to make sure that you had the right website. It is that's THE, thecmp.org, thecmp.org, and that's for the Civilian Marksmanship Program. That's you can get involved. You can actually make your application. It's got the information right there on the 1911s. Got the whole deal. You get the packet that you fill out, and good luck. It's one of those deals. Hope you get there. Line 1, Jeff's with us in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hey, Jeff, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom, you're not only an enabler, your son is an enabler also. I saw the video of the Ruger precision rimfire.
Oh, was that the one shooting the golf balls?
I don't remember which was. I watched so many of them, but
okay.
He is an enabler, so you're doing a fine job. The question I have is, I'm looking for the scope that he has for it.
Oh, I don't remember. Here's the thing. We get so many guns and scopes coming through here, and that video was probably shot close to 6 months ago. I honestly don't remember, but it should be on YouTube. Yeah, it should be on YouTube now. If not, it'll be going there real soon. All of our videos are on YouTube, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. But I honestly don't remember. I'm trying to think what we put on that.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah, if I guessed it's going to be wrong, and I'm going to make like one company happy and tick off 6 of them. So that doesn't work.
That's how bar fight starts, right?
Exactly. Well, I'm glad that you are willing to be enabled. That is always a good thing, too.
That's right. I am willing, and now I get to accessorize it whichever way I find fitting to my taste, right?
Exactly. Well, have fun with it. It's a great rifle. You'll have a bunch of fun. Thank you, sir. All right, Jeff and Laura, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you as soon as we come back. We have to take a quick, crass commercial break. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Built for personal and home protection, the Smith & Wesson M&P 380 Shield EZ pistol features an easy-to-load magazine with load assist button, an easy-to-rack slide, and the M2.0 crisp trigger and enhanced grip texture. With its easy-to-rack, easy-to-pack, and easy-to-shoot design, the M&P 380 Shield EZ is perfectly sized 380 protection. Find out more at smith-wesson.com.
Now at LibertySafe.com, you can buy a Liberty Safe at a great price and receive 12 months interest-free payments with 0 down and 0% APR, with some safes as low as $20 a month on approved credit. Peace of mind, lifetime warranty, and in-home delivery service. Go to LibertySafe.com now for 12 months interest-free payments with 0 down and 0% APR. LibertySafe.com.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
After 1 million rounds of testing, adapting to every mini red dot optic in the firearms industry, the new FN 509 Tactical became the perfect evolution of the world's most battle-proven firearms. Designed for mill-free compatibility, the FN 509 Tactical bears the most advanced patent-pending optics mounting system ever seen on the front lines or the home front. Set your sights on the new FN 509 Tactical.
All right, back with you. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun, and we're pretty much open lines. If there's something you want to talk about, a question, or you want to just tell me about a cool gun that you have or had, or you're thinking about buying something and you're just not sure if you ought to, quote, I got to say it, pull the trigger on it, give me a holler, 866-TALK-GUN. Laura's with us on line 4 out of Farmington, New Mexico. Hey, Laura, what's going on?
Hey, Tom. I'm thrilled that today's AR Day on Gun Talk. This is the Four Corners, New Mexico Well-Armed Women's Monthly Shoot Day, and we're shooting it. We are shooting women that have never shot, never won.
Tell people, you're kind of cutting out, but I want you to tell people what the Well-Armed Woman group is.
It's a national women's shooting organization. It's for women who have never shot, who want to shoot, who love to shoot, who love to teach. It's just a gathering of women to shoot together, and we shoot something different every month. We did painting last month, shot balloons full of paint over canvas, and, it's a DIY thing if it's women involved, right? This month, it's ARs.
So what's going on with the ARs? You're introducing, obviously some women there have shot ARs before, but there have to be some that have never shot an AR. How's that going?
Well, they will be here at 2. We're setting up for them now. In our class, we had ARs in the class to look at and talk about, and we had lined up different calibers of rifles all the way to shotguns, and they were dumbfounded. Why is this such a big deal? I'm looking at the little hole that it made in that target compared to the hole that this made in that target.
It's a weird thing, isn't it, Laura? You start presenting the information, and they look at it, and they look at the rifle, and they look at the cartridge, which is a small cartridge, and it shoots a little bullet, and you can kind of see the light starting to come on above their heads, and they realize, I have been lied to about these.
Yes, and we try to, in a very non-forceful way, remind them that if you enjoy shooting, then you need to cast your vote. And we talk about whatever's in the news. Today will be I'm all done with Levi's Day.
Yeah.
Skinny jeans and French cut shirt was the beginning of their downfall. They forgot, built them up. They forgot who they were made for and who uses and wears them every day.
There you go. Well, look, good luck, and I appreciate what you're doing. Big attaboy from Gun Talk on the whole Well-Armed Woman program. It is terrific, and I really like the fact that today is AR Day for you guys out there.
Yeah. Yep, we didn't plan it for you.
But it worked out well. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate the call. Yeah, Laura was referring to Levi's, the outfit that makes blue jeans, announcing this week that they were joining hands with Michael Bloomberg, the nation's leading gun banner, the leading financier of gun ban activities, and they are working toward more gun control and more gun bans. Levi's. So, as you might expect, a whole bunch of people said, that's it. Done. Carhartts are good, Lees are good, Wranglers are good. I'm okay with all of that. Don't need Levi's, don't need, and I get it. They may not care. They may not even see it in their bottom line. But at the same time, it is a stand. It is a line in the sand that each of us can take. And as she said, they're telling each other, and they're telling everybody they know, Levi's is taking a stand against your Second Amendment rights, taking a stand against your ability to protect yourself and your family. Speaking of protecting yourself, did you see this story out of Winter Haven, Florida? Uber driver shoots and kills a man who attacked him, and they've got dash cam video of it, which is amazing. The Uber guy had a dash cam going, and this guy chased him down. Uber guy is in a little car, and this guy at a Ford F-250 chases him down, cuts him off because he's got the wrong woman in the car, and the guy in the truck gets out, and he's holding his mobile phone, I guess, like it was a pistol, and he starts yelling at him, I have a pistol. He says, do you want me to effing shoot you? And then he pulls out his cell phone as though it's a pistol. Well, the Uber driver is trained. He is a licensed armed security guard. He simply pulled out his gun and shot this guy. He wasn't waiting to get shot. He shot this guy, shot him one time, killed him. And the whole thing, when you look at it on video, on the dashcam video, takes 5 seconds. 5 seconds from when this dude in the truck steps out to when he gets shot and killed. And what was interesting is to watch the sheriff make his comments about it. And it was a long, involved press conference, and the sheriff said he absolutely did the right thing. It's perfect stand your ground story. He says the quote is, the Uber driver did the right thing to protect himself and ostensibly the passenger. At the end of the day, the message is clear. This is the sheriff talking. Don't mess with the Uber driver. Yeah, I would think so. Holy cow. It's always a possibility. Every time you step out of your house. And yes, I know it's a low possibility, low probability, okay? But it's a low probability you're going to get into a car accident. But I wear my seatbelt. I would wear my seatbelt if it weren't required by law, simply because it makes a lot of sense. People have their lives saved every day because they have on seatbelts. I carry a gun because it may allow me to protect myself and my family and maybe someone else. And I know people say, well, are you going to get involved? Are you going to insert yourself into a situation? I don't know, because I don't know what the situation is. And you cannot describe it to me, because it will be different. Whatever it is, it will be different, okay? You cannot describe whatever is going to happen to me. So you just have to react on the fly of whatever it is. If it's two guys get into a fight somewhere, I don't know who started what and who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. If it is somebody who jumps onto a school bus and starts shooting people, yeah, I got that one figured out. And yes, I'm going to go get involved. And yes, I understand that there's a chance I might not come home that day. I get all that, okay? By the way, we're going to be talking about this in a future show, but if you want to, go grab this right now. It's a new book, FBI Miami Firefight, 5 Minutes That Changed the Bureau. It's about the famous FBI gunfight in Miami, and it is quite fascinating, by Edmundo Morales. He was the hero of the whole thing. Our number, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. What gun are you thinking about buying? I would like to know. going straight to the phones now. Line 2, Mark's with us out of Middletown, Ohio. Hey, Mark, you got a range report for us?
Yeah, I just picked up a SIRT 110. It gives a whole new meaning to dry practice.
All right, explain, if you would, to people who don't know, what is a SIRT gun?
The SIRT, it's an acronym that I can't remember off time. Basically, in my case, the 110 is essentially a Glock 17 frame, self-resetting trigger with a laser indicator to show when, you have the trigger at the breaking point, and then once you break the trigger. So now you have a very similar trigger pull to your carry gun. Aim, draw, aim, fire. You see a light, practice right in your living room.
And you can do, and the thing is, you can do it safely. We don't have to say, geez, triple check to make sure your gun's unloaded, because there have been quite a few televisions that have been shot during dry fire practice. You know, and with a SIRT gun, it is not a real gun. There's no way to load it, but it has a good trigger, and then it has this laser feature that shows you where your shot would have gone, right?
Correct. So basically, and it's fairly, and again, it shows you diagnostic. If you're slapping the trigger, yep, the shot's going to show left to where you thought it was going to go. So, yeah.
How long you had it?
Probably what am I training at, right? I've used them off and on with other trainers. I broke down and actually just purchased one this week. I probably, put 800 or 900 trigger pulls through it already just this week. But
how much did that cost?
I'm an NRA instructor, so I got a bit of a discount on it, but I got it at the 110 and an AR bolt, basically the same thing, except it's a replacement bolt for your AR, for under $300.
Man, that's not bad. Even if you bump it up and you're not getting the instructor price.
Yeah, which is $100 thereabout.
Okay.
So that,
yeah, and it's and the thing is,
it's a lot cheaper than ammo.
Will this gun go in your holster?
It does. In fact, it fits into a Glock. It fits right into a Glock 17 holster. They also have one different model that will do the same thing for those that carry the Smith & Wesson product line.
As an instructor, you can appreciate this information that there's simply no substitute for pulling the trigger a lot. And yeah, I know it doesn't help you manage recoil, but it does help you work on your trigger press.
Trigger press is the biggest thing. That I struggle with, and the biggest thing the folks that I help coach struggle with. So,
yeah, it just is. So, are you going to use that in your instruction with people?
Yes, I'll use it. I'll use it again as a because it's something we can use in a classroom before we go to the range, and that will let us get more trigger pulls done before we're out onto a range, where now it's noisy, and now it's not everybody has electronic hearing protection, so they may or may not hear what you're trying to explain.
Excellent. Well, look, I appreciate it. That's a great range report. SIRT pistols. You know what we're going to do? We're going to have to hunt those guys down. We're going to get somebody from that company to come talk to us, because I know a number of really good instructors who are big believers in SIRT pistols for training. It's a safe way to do your dry fire. Also, you can use it for kind of modified, not real force on force, but kind of, and it can help you safely move and practice your shooting, that type of deal. So, pretty good tool. I'll tell you what, one of the things I want to talk about, or actually a couple of things. We'll talk about what happened with Levi's, the blue jeans company. Also, what's going on with the whole Kavanaugh hearing, because there were a lot of agendas in play here, and guns played a big part of it. The Second Amendment, guns, gun bans, a lot of posturing, a lot of noise, a lot of flash, not much fire. We'll talk about that. And if you have a thought about that, if you watched it, what was your reaction to it? 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Yeah, I had my reactions, but I would love to know what yours were. My number, 866-TALK-GUN, and I'm Tom Gresham.